If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Christine McIver.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? Oh my gosh, here we go. We have another show for you today, and a show all about business and life and about what you can do to get yourself moving in the direction you want to move in. So my name's Christine McIver. I'm the host of the Inspired Choices show here on the Inspired Choices Network. This show has been in production now for 12 years. I've been talking. I do talk a lot and I do love to bring what I know and what I've experienced and people that I've coached, what they've experienced to the table. And when you do that, I know for me personally, when I show up and I do my own show, yes, I'm doing it for others, to contribute to others, and it always contributes to me as well. So if you're someone that is looking to grow your business, if you're looking for support, if you're looking for a possibility of looking at things in a new perspective, I'd love you to join me. And if you are listening live, you're welcome to come on over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room. Join us in the chat room. My producer's in there. She will guide you into the live recording studio, and where you can be participating, asking questions in the chat room and be actually watching as an audience member. I love questions from the audience. I love to hear what's going on with each and every one of you and what's popping. So tonight we're talking about staying stagnant will kill your currency. And it might sound like an odd title, but it is something that has been popping in my world of late. And I've kind of been picking up on a lot of things with other people. And I want to just share my thoughts on this for you, for your business and for your personal life. Staying stagnant can impact a lot of things in our lives, in our bodies, in our relationships, and everywhere. Of course, the main focus is around business, but it's absolutely something that can be applied to every area of your life. So if you like what you hear tonight, I'd love for you to share this show. You can find us on 450 platforms. Just go in search of Inspired Choices Network. You can find us on Apple TV, Google TV, LG Smart TV, Amazon Fire, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple, your favorite on-demand platform. Just find us there. You can also find us, all of our shows are in YouTube, as well as Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. So wherever we are, you can find us, whatever your favorite platform is. And if you have a comment, you're welcome to comment wherever you find this show. And if you would like some more support, there is over 300 episodes in my archives on the library in Inspired Choices Network. So you can go find that, or you can find the link here in the description of this show. If you have ideas or where you would like some support and you would like to hear me talk about that on a show, please email me, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Okay, so let's get into tonight's show. Staying stagnant will kill your currency. Unless water can flow freely, it becomes stagnant, produces a foul smell, and begins to breed microorganisms that lead to serious illness. Not something we think about all the time, but yeah, it can be quite disgusting. Similarly, a stagnant business, one that doesn't continue to create and evolve, leads to the death of your currency flow and eventually your entire business. So I really want to dive into this because it's so important we understand the impact of our choices. And oftentimes we go through some huge challenge before we realize what choice we've actually made. When we're oftentimes in the midst of a choice, and be it an unconscious choice, when we're in that midst, we don't realize the impact that we are making on ourselves and on our business. And the two are not separate. You have a business, if you have a business, that business is a part of who you are. And while it is a separate entity, there is that overlap where what is going on with you will be reflected in the business, and what's going on in the business will be reflected in you. Now, this is not to scare you. This is not to send you running for the hills worrying. But what I do know is that it's very important that we are incredibly present with our business and incredibly present with how we are reacting to what is going on in our business and in our lives. I hope very much that what I share on my shows really contributes to you and shines a light in areas that I think, I wish I'd have known that before. That's my own personal experience. I wish I'd have known that before. And one of the things that if this is your first time listening, what you'll know about me is I will often share pretty vulnerable things that I've gone through in a target to contribute to someone else learning and growing from what I've been through. Now, a lot of people will say, yeah, well, we don't learn from other people. We want to do it ourselves. Well, that may be true, but why? There are a lot of very intelligent people who are willing to share what they know. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of that and put that in your understanding and your growth area. You may not follow through exactly the way somebody else has fallen through, but they may share something with you that will have you start to look in on what you're creating and what you're doing. So we have a question in the chat room. So choices we make in our lives affect our businesses and vice versa. Yes, that's exactly what goes on. Now, it may not be a very overt choice, or it may not be very obvious what's going on in our lives, and the choices that we make will affect our business, but it is occurring. And I will give you some examples of that. So what I really want to start with is I want to share, first of all, it's not a big aha, but it is a little bit of an aha that I want to keep in mind. So I looked up one of the definitions of the word stagnant, and there's not a great deal of information out there, just what I shared about standing water and a pond and a swamp. But the other one that was very interesting, it's the root word of it is stag, which means to seep or drip. And I thought that that was very interesting, that stagnant, the root word is to drip. And I wonder what, if we were willing to really look at what is going on in our business and what's going on in our lives, ask yourself this question. Do you feel that things are just dripping in your direction? Are your desires slowly dripping in? Is your money slowly dripping in? Is your joy slowly dripping in with your business? What about your relationships? What about your relationship with your body? When we're willing to look at these things with a very clear understanding and be very vulnerable with the truth of what's going on for us, that's where we can begin to really lean in and change things. Now, one of the things that I know is for a lot of people in their own business, they have an incredibly difficult time being vulnerable with the truth of what's happening. And it is one of the most messed up bullshit pieces of being an entrepreneur. And I'll tell you that because I went through that myself. I don't know where we got the idea that we should be successful in business from the get-go. Like, that is seriously, I have seen people in their first 6 months of their business, the first 5 years of their business, whatever it is, wherever they are at the very, very beginning or anywhere along the path. And anytime something doesn't go to their greatest desire, they can go into, and I'm telling you, I've seen this with many, 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 many business owners. They can go into a depression. They can go into shame. and they can go into humiliation. And all of these, if you just catch the energy of all of those nearly have us want to kind of cover up and hide away. We want to hide away. And what is happening in our businesses when we are hiding away? So I really want you to understand this piece. When you are hiding away, when you are really hiding from the truth, maybe you're trying to hide yourself from the truth, or you're trying to hide the truth from someone else, or you're completely ignoring what is occurring, how can you possibly make conscious, strong business decisions when you are hiding? It's not possible, right? And in fact, when you are hiding away at any level, no matter how long you've been in your business, when you are hiding away, what's actually going to start to occur is you are going to begin a backwards slide in your business. And I know that that's not fun to think about. I know that that's not fun to even consider, but that is actually what starts to occur. Now, I was it Newton that said, an item in motion stays in motion, an item at rest stays at rest. I may not have that exactly correct. But the premise of this is partially true. If you are not moving, if you are at a standstill in your business, I'm going to challenge that you are actually not going to just stay still. You're actually going to start a backward slide. A business, any business, there is creation in a business. Whether it's a product business, it's a service business, whatever it is, you are in the mode of creating. And the word creation, of course, is a forward movement word, right? You can get the sense of moving forward. If you are in your own business and there is not the movement forward happening, there is going to be a backwards movement happening, because without the creation, whether it is you've got some kind of system and you're just working your system, but you are not looking at really the energy behind where you are at or where your business is at, it is going to start to erode. And where it begins first of all, is with you, the owner of the business. You are going to start to erode your joy. You're going to start to feel an impact in the pleasure of your business, in the enjoyment of getting up every day to do your business. It's going to be a struggle. Have you ever been in that place and you can recall kind of waking up and you're like, oh, okay, time to go to work, right? Whether you said that out loud or not, have you ever had that energy behind you when you are going to go to your job, when you're going to go to your business? I would suspect, and I would actually challenge, that every single solitary business owner has had that at one time or another. And you may not have it at the very beginning of your business because you are in excitement and creation mode. You might also be in a lot of fear mode. But at some time, as you start to go through the natural evolution of your business, there can come a time when you start to hit this. Now, what is honestly happening is you are starting to expand beyond the parameters of your business. And your business is actually needing a growth. It's needing an up level. But if you, the owner of the business, is not willing to look at that and look at where you are and what up level you need to actually be stepping into, your business is going to be impacted by that. Your business is reflected in your life, and your life is reflected in your business. And when you begin to understand that, and you take that on as part of who you are and how you show up, you can then begin to create with your business in a way that is contributing to you and to your business. And that's part of what I want to talk about in the next segment. another question in the chat room. So they make failure or struggle really significant. So we're talking, that was in reference to when I was speaking to people that are hiding away. And we make failure and struggle very significant. And we actually believe that failure and struggle is a defect of our character, and that we are less than other people. That's not true. And yet, when we're going through it, it feels very, very real to us. So I want you to just stick around if you can, and if you can be willing to really lean in and listen to tonight's show. If you have any questions, I would love to hear them. I'd love to hear some of your experiences. And let's together start to change this and really look at what it means to not be stagnant and have it not impact our currency, our financial flows, our body, because, oh my gosh, when something's going on for us mentally, it absolutely replicates in the body, and how it can actually contribute to our day-to-day and what we can do about it when we're in it. So if you are online at Facebook, come on over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room. And I'd love to hear from you. If you're listening on any of the other platforms, please make a comment and I will absolutely respond. So let's go to break. You're listening to Inspired Choices with myself, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network show, and we'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, my friends, we are back. Tonight we are talking about being stagnant in your business and staying stagnant, how it will kill your currency. If you're just joining, in the first segment, we were talking a lot about where we as the owners are at personally, how it impacts the business and how what's going on in the business can impact our lives. You know, creating a business is a very personal experience. And here's the plus and the negative of that. The fact that it's really personal is we become so passionate about what we're doing, and we put our heart and our soul into our business. You know, for most business owners, certainly for myself and a lot of my colleagues that are in their own business, it is a love fest of creating and getting so excited on bringing forward what we know will contribute. And it's really, you know, people finding their purpose and finding what they have, where their genius really is, and how they can bring that forward to contribute to other people in the world. So we make it personal. We make it personal because it means so much to us. It's close to our heart. And when we do that and something doesn't go right, it's like a gut punch. You know, it's like, oh my God, look at this. Like, how stupid am I? Like, we start all of that negative conversation starts to go on. And then we go into that space of embarrassment. We go into that space of what's wrong with me? Why can't I get this right? Everybody else is succeeding, all of those. Anybody else have those messages come up in your head? And really feeling so incredibly lost. So incredibly lost. I want you to understand is that there are so many things that, we may have gone to school and we may have been taught some things, but for the most part, over 95% of people that are in their own business, and I'm talking a solopreneur, over 95% of those individuals have had no formal day-to-day training. None of us, right? Before I started my own business, I worked for other people, right? It was my career. I worked for other people and I would learn about certain things that they would be doing, but I certainly didn't have a bird's eye view on every single aspect of business creation. My father was in his own business. I was a young woman when, quite young when he was in his own business. And yes, I absolutely saw him in his own business. I oftentimes saw the really big highs and the really big lows, but I didn't have, again, all the workings that went into creating a business. Until you are your own business owner and until you start to really move through all of the steps of being in your own business, you don't know something. You don't know what you don't know. Until you get there, you don't know. And here's the challenge. Because we are really going into our businesses blind, thinking, yeah, I know how to do this, or I know how to do that. We know how to do a few things. Because we are really going in blind, it really is shocking to us and difficult when certain things happen, when, the bottom kind of falls out from under us. And we think, oh my God, what is wrong with me? Why didn't I understand that? Why didn't I know that? The fact of the matter is you didn't go to school to learn how to be in a small business owner. I've taken plenty of business classes. None of them covered what I've learned since being in my own business. Absolutely none. So you didn't learn how to do that. You also didn't learn all the hills and valleys of your particular type of business. You just didn't. You had no idea. And here is the thing, the other big thing, even if you were shadowing somebody in business, even if, you're working with somebody one-on-one all the time and understanding what they're doing in their business, until it is your business and until you're going through the experience in real time as things are changing, you're not going to know what to do. There are going to be challenges. And I mean really shitty times of challenge. And when you can get to a space of receiving that information and being like, okay, this is quote unquote normal. It is normal to have these things go on. When you can get into that space, you're not going to go into the hiding. You're not going to go into the, I don't want anybody to know what the hell's going on space. And that is actually a really good thing, that you can start to see, okay, this has been a really crappy time. This has been really challenging. And when you're not in an overly emotional place with that, you can step back and kind of get a real big macro view of what occurred and what information you can take as you move forward. There's always things changing in business. There are tax laws that are changing. There are laws within different foundations, different modalities. There are all sorts of changes that are happening and occurring. Heck, for everybody that's doing their business online, there's all of the changes on all the social media platforms, like Google used to be, Google Business, I think it was called, used to be a really big platform. That went away. So for the people that kind of hung their business on growing their business there, that would have been a huge problem for them. And they could have easily gone down into a deep, dark space. So I want you to understand that change is absolutely going to happen. And for you to run away from it can impact you greater than you even know. So this is a really important piece that I really wanted to ensure that we talked about. So now let's get into the piece about being stagnant. So when your heart's not in it anymore, it's not necessarily time to throw in the towel and say, I don't want to do my business anymore. This oftentimes is the opportunity for you to step back and look at what is honestly occurring. And the best way for you to do that is truthfully get a coach. If you have a coach that works with you, that can look at what's going on business-wise, look at all the aspects of your business, and is someone that can evaluate where you are at psychologically and emotionally, they can support to show you what would assist you moving forward. And they can help you to start to unpack what's working and what's not working for you. I am telling you, it is the number one thing that can move you forward. If you think about people, like when we're in school, we oftentimes will have a teacher that is supporting us and guiding us. And then as we move forward, maybe into the corporate world, we have a mentor that is assisting and guiding us. When you're in your own business, you absolutely need to have a business coach to guide you and support you. It is one of the areas when you do have a business coach that you can't hide from them. When you have a long-term business relationship with a business coach and you start to really allow yourself to share what's happening, you can't hide the truth. And this is when they can really move into supporting you. They are not going to judge you no matter what is going on. They are not going to think less of you in any way. In fact, they're going to be thrilled that you were willing to be vulnerable with them. And I absolutely know how hard it is to be vulnerable when we haven't been doing well in our business. I know, because I've been there. I've been at that space where I thought I had to shut the doors because things weren't going well. And we're so upfront and close with our business and so emotionally attached with our business that it's difficult, not impossible, but difficult for us to can see the truth of what is occurring. And so having somebody that you trust and somebody that's willing to tell you the truth of what they see, share that with you in a way to support you and move you forward is one of the best things, one of the absolute best things that can occur. Now, when you are being stagnant in your business and when you're not willing to look at where you are in your business and you are really putting on blinders and you're just think, I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. You can be really missing out on huge opportunities. And so I want to encourage you to take off the blinders, be willing to get very vulnerable with where you are and do an evaluation, not only on your business and the finances of your business, but where you are at. So as we go to our next break, I want you to ask yourself this question. Where am I at with my business? Where are you in your business? Where are you with your business? What is going on for you, the business owner, with your business? Don't look at your business, look at yourself. What's going on for you? I start to identify what is happening with you and your business. Now, I did say earlier that all of this can impact your body. It can impact your relationships because the amount of time that we spend either in our career or in our business, it takes up a very large chunk of our lives. And that is absolutely not something that you can just leave in one spot and then go out to the rest of your life and go out to your family and your friends and your relationships and not have it come with you. Your level of joy and satisfaction and pleasure or frustration and shame and anxiety with your business is not going to stay at your job or at your place of work. It's going to stay with you. So you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your body, and you owe it to your relationships to be willing to look at it truthfully. And I want to say this again. I'm probably going to say it a few more times. Please know It is so normal to quote unquote struggle with your business. And I'm going to change that. We're not struggling, we're growing through our businesses. And what a different energy that is when we're willing to look at what is happening with our business and look at that we are actually growing with our businesses and we're growing with ourselves. Staying stagnant with our growth and with our business impacts every single solitary thing. It actually starts to turn down our joy and it impacts us emotionally, which is going to then just be this domino effect that is going to impact everything in our lives. It's time for each and every one of us to start being kinder to ourselves and start understanding what it takes to be in your own business in a way that creates for us and for our bank accounts. No longer should you be sacrificing yourself or sacrificing your joy. Please don't. Your joy is so important. All right, we're going to go up to our second break. Stick around, my friends. I've got lots more I want to share with you, and I hope that you're enjoying the show, and I would love to hear your comments in the chat room or anywhere that you're listening. So you're listening to Inspired Choices with myself, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
I love that new music. Does anybody notice the change in the music? I really just want to keep listening to that music. All right. Thank you, my friends, for coming back. So we are talking all about being in business and how staying stagnant can actually impact your currency. And currency really is not only the financial money, but also the currency, the current and the flow of your business. And when you are stagnant, when you are avoiding, when you are not willing to get vulnerable with yourself and with a professional coach, you are going to turn down the possibilities and the flow that could be coming towards you. And here's another really huge thing, that when you are in that mindset of, I don't want anybody to know how bad things are, I feel shame or I'm embarrassed or whatever it is, when you're putting up barriers to see people seeing or knowing what's going on, you're also putting up barriers to seeing what is available to you to grow. So the opportunities that will be passing you by, they will just continue to pass you by again and again and again, because you're in the place of hiding and you're choosing to be stagnant. Now, we have somebody in the chat room who says, that she stumbled into her business and has no formal training on how to make it work. No one in her family had their own business. So what is it that we think that, we don't need help? Like, why would any of us think that we don't need help? The other big thing about being in your own business is, yes, there's many of us that are in our own businesses and we have a lot of talent in certain areas, but there are so many aspects to being in your own business. It's huge. I did a course a few years ago, and I can't even see the name of it right now, but it was all about business. And the very first session, this was so much fun. The very first session of that course was called, get to the boardroom. And so I actually walked people through in that course around all the roles that are required in a business around the boardroom. So if you are in your own business, I want you to imagine all of the roles that you are filling at your boardroom. So first of all, there's going to be the CEO, right? You are the CEO of your business for sure. Then there's going to be someone that's going to be in charge of accounting. Then you're going to need to have someone that's in charge of marketing. You're going to need to have someone that's in charge of sales. You're going to need to have somebody that's in R&D, research and development. You're going to need to have someone that's actually doing continuous research to make sure that you're staying ahead of the curve on what's the changes that are required. You need to have someone definitely that's technically savvy, because we're doing our businesses online. And you're going to need to have somebody that is great with customer interaction, somebody that is absolutely there to communicate and to convey what's working, what's not working. And then you're going to need to have somebody that's going to manage and oversee the operations and really take a huge view of that and report back to the CEO. Now, that's just off the top of my head. That's 9 different positions. Now, if you're listening to that, I want you to just check in. How many of those 9 roles do you have knowledge and experience in? If you're in the chat room, I'd love you just to drop a number into the chat room and tell me, how many roles do you have knowledge and experience in right now? I can tell you for definite that there is not one person that I have ever met who has who has experience in all 9 of those roles. We just don't. Get your head around this. You need support. And support means that when you have people around you, they can guide you. They can be a light in a direction of what you want to be paying attention to. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with where you are at when things are struggling, when you're struggling. But what is important is for you to be willing to start to change that. So the next question, because the first question I asked while we were going to break is, where are you at in your business? Where are you at in your business? What's going on? Write those different descriptors down so that you can honestly see where you are at, and then you can start digging into it. The next question I want to ask you is, what is your relationship to your business? How do you feel about your business? What do you think about when you think about your business? What actually comes up for you? What aspects of your business do you enjoy? And what aspects of your business do you feel lost? Where do you feel lost? Do you happen to know why you feel lost? Those are really, really important things. When you're working with a coach and you're doing some strategizing, right? And you start to look at where you are loving what's going on in your business and where you're not, that's where you start to get insight on where you need support. And until you have that insight, you can't make a choice to move forward. You really can't, because it's going to feel like you're just spinning your wheels in the same space over and over again. And when you're spinning your wheels and you don't have the traction, you're actually going to be stagnating your business. You're not going to be moving forward. You're not going to be growing. And again, all of that emotion is going to come in. So we have somebody that says, I am in new creation mode for my business and myself. I'm figuring out what aspects I enjoy and what is exciting for me and what is not. That is absolutely perfect. That is one of the best things that you can start to do. And that can be uncomfortable in the beginning. And when you start to really look at what is working and what isn't working, you can't detach your emotions from it. Be willing to be emotional with it, but be willing also to step back and look at it. You know, I worked in corporate. I've said this before. I worked in corporate. And when I was working in corporate, I climbed the ladder and I worked and I worked and I worked. I worked so much. You have no idea how many hours I put into this job. And I was probably working 75 to 80 hours a week. And pretty much that was it for me. And when that job came to an end, I went into a really dark space. And one of the very first things I did as I started to come out of that, as I started to be willing to step forward again, and this is just prior to starting my business, that was the very first thing I looked at is, what am I enjoying about this? And what am I not enjoying about it? It was no longer a fit for me. It was no longer a fit for where I desired to move and grow. Now, I did not have my business vision 10, 12 years ago of where I am today. I didn't have that, but I knew the aspects of what I wanted to do. And that's where I started. So when you know where you are today and what's working and what's not, you can begin to shift it. Now, here's a big question. Do you actually desire to grow? Do you desire to grow in your business? It seems like a simple question, but it's not. It's a very important question. If you don't desire to grow, if you are just done with it and you don't want to have to look at it anymore, then it may be time to have a really courageous conversation about whether you want to be in your own business or not. Because the thing of it is if you're not moving forward in your business, and I don't mean that you have to be growing your business 10 times every year. That's not what I mean. But if you're not looking at what the trends are, what's happening out there, and what you need to be doing in order to still be moving your business in a forward direction, continuing to bring on new business, and you're not enjoying yourself as well with all of that, if there's going to be tough days, of course there's going to be tough days. That's normal. It doesn't matter where you work, there's going to be tough days. But if the idea of not being in your own business brings you joy, that's a message to listen to. And if the idea of not being in your own business brings you sadness, that's another message. Start to look at that. And, you know, if you're someone that would really like somebody to just talk this through with and start to look at this in a safe area where somebody's not going to tell you what you need to do, please email me, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. I give everyone 30 minutes, and it's surprising what we can actually uncover in such a short period of time. And, you know, it may not be as daunting as you think when there's somebody that has a bird's eye view of everything and can see things from a non-emotional space. It may be able to move you forward. And oftentimes people that have been in their own business, as I said before, have been through this themselves. So that's very, very important thing. The next question I want to ask you is, are you willing to be real with yourself? Are you really willing to look at where you're at, what you are doing and what you are not doing? One of the big areas for me was my worry and fear around money. Now, I don't know anybody that hasn't had some aspect of that in their lives. What goes on in our society, we're baked in fear around money. And I certainly had my own fears around it. And I struggled for a number of years trying to understand what I was doing wrong and really why things were not moving in the right direction. And a really big thing of it for me was that I didn't believe there was some kind of self-worth attached to the piece around money. And I believe that, you know, there should be a lot of shame. Like if I didn't make the proper amount of money, that, you know, I had all of this shame. And I had a very dear friend who is a coach and who sat with me for a very, very long period of time one night. And we talked and talked and talked and talked about money and about fear and about everything is attached to that. And it really started to unlock. It didn't solve anything, but it started to unlock areas for me. And that made a huge difference. And I was able to step back and see it a lot better from a non-emotional place as we continued to unpack that. So that was really important. And again, I felt safe with her. I felt that I could be incredibly vulnerable and then just say everything that I needed to say in order to look at it with a complete view. So we are up to our last break of the show. You are listening to Inspired Choices with myself, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. Stick around, my friends. We've still got a little bit more to unpack. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, here we are. We're at the last segment of the show. It feels like we're racing to the end, but don't go yet. I have more that I want to ask you, and I really want you to look at this. Do you desire to grow in your business? Do you desire to really have more? Do you desire to have more in your business? Is your business contributing to you on every level of your life? Or is it time to have some changes? Tell me, what is it that if you could wave your magic wand, what would you like things to be different about in your business? Do you know? Do you have any idea what it is? If you don't know, and if you don't write it down, you cannot start to bring that into your business. You need to get incredibly clear about what it is that you desire in your business. You can't just be in the go, go, go position. You have to stop. You have to step back and look at everything and ask yourself on a regular basis, what's working, what's not working, and what do I desire? It's incredibly important. We're doing this all of the time. Now, here's another question that I really want you to listen to. Are you in a state of allowing when you're choosing to be stagnant? So what is a state of allowing? A state of allowing is being willing to have your hands open and say, I'm ready to receive. I'm allowing things to come to me. What I know is when you feel like you are in overwhelm, when you feel like you're not getting something straight, when you are judging yourself, when you are in any kind of emotion, judging, feeling shame, feeling embarrassment, feeling humiliated, like you need to hide away, you are not in the space of allowing. And when you're not in the space of allowing, you have basically shut the doors to not only new possibilities, but also to other people, other coaches, other contributors in the world coming to you. You have pulled down your open sign. You are not open to receive. You are not open, even allowing anyone to notice you in order for them to contribute to you. And it is a space where it's important that you learn to find your voice and step up and start to communicate, start to connect with people, start to be seen, be visible, be present. You maybe don't need to have a show, a global authority show like we have here on the Inspired Choices Network, but showing up, being present with people, being present with yourself and connecting with other people is a space of allowing yourself to receive. And that is actually one of the biggest keys, is the allowing. If you have made a decision about what it means to be in your business and you're judging your business, you're judging where you're at in your business, you're judging any aspect of this, you are cutting off the allowing to receive. And that is such a difficult place to be in. How are you going to change anything when you are stuck in that space? My friends, this is not an easy journey. And being in your own business when you've never been before and you've never gone through this particular business is a big learning curve. First of all, be kind to yourself. Remind yourself of this. I've not been here before. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. That's okay. That's actually the space of movement. There's flow there when you are willing to continue to grow and move. And when you're in that space of allowing and you're putting out your desires, the universe will contribute to you. It will be absolutely magical. The people that will show up in your life, the people that are going to start to show up and connect with you and contribute to you when you are willing to be at least open with yourself and vulnerable with yourself. But just like any business, you've got to write out your business plan. And here's your business plan. It's not all of the documents that you have to take to the bank. This is your business plan. What do I desire? What do I love about what I'm doing right now? And where are the gaps? That's your business plan. When you start from that space and you get very clear about it, the universe is like, right, Christine has a gap. She needs support. And before you know it, you start to connect with and have opportunities to interact with people that are going to connect you with the next person, connect you with a new idea, connect you with a new possible creation. But you've got to be willing to be open to that. My friends, I'm thrilled that you were here tonight. I really do hope that this show contributed to you and that you are ready to grow your business and move forward with your business, because your business really does deserve to have more of you in it. Your business came to you so it could come through you. And when it's doing that, it's contributing to the world as well. You have got so much to contribute to the world and so much joy to receive. And I really do hope that this is something that has changed this for you, because why not have more joy and pleasure in your life? You've got to join us next week. I have a fabulous guest who's coming. We are going to be talking about the power and need for emotional expression to create with the very talented Beth Davis. You do not want to miss that show. So my friends, until next week, I want you to remember, you can always make another choice. Take good care. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.